What should I write for him today? She wondered, her mind racing as she sat at her desk. The pen felt heavier in her grasp, as though the weight of her feelings for him was being transferred to it. She stared at the blank piece of paper, her thoughts a blur. After a moment, she took a deep breath and began writing carefully, crafting a sweet, heartfelt ode that captured all the emotions she had kept hidden for so long. Her fingers danced across the paper as she wrote. No words can truly express how much you mean to me, but I will keep trying. A small smile tugged at her lips as she finished the note, her heart fluttering at the thought of him reading it. Once the note was done, she quickly got up from her desk, grabbing her bag and heading towards the bathroom to prepare for the day. The mirror reflected her anxious expression as she quickly got ready for college. Her hands trembled slightly as she adjusted her uniform, wondering what today would bring. With a final glance in the mirror, she rushed out of the bathroom and headed toward the college gates. The streets were still quiet, and the usual hustle and bustle of students had not begun yet. She pushed through the college entrance, eager to see him. She walked briskly through the hallway, her eyes scanning for any sign of him. But the hallway was deserted at this early hour. Her heart raced as she made her way towards his locker. The air around her seemed to grow thick with anticipation as she turned the corner, her breath catching in her throat when she saw his locker at the end of the hallway. She froze for a moment, a smile creeping onto her face. There it was, the locker with his name, John Jungkook, written boldly on the metal. Her hand instinctively reached out and traced the letters of his name, feeling an unexplainable connection to it. The coolness of the metal sent a shiver down her spine, but suddenly a noise echoed down the hallway, snapping her out of her reverie. Her heart skipped a beat as she turned. Panic setting in, no, quickly she rushed to open the locker, praying she wouldn't be catched. The cold metal felt like it was mocking her haste as she pushed the note inside, trying not to make a sound. Just as she closed the locker, she heard footsteps growing nearer. Her eyes widened, and without another thought, she sprinted behind a nearby pillar, her heart pounding in her chest. Peeking around the corner, she saw him. Jungkook, he strolled down the hallway, unaware of her presence. As he reached his locker, he paused and looked around, his eyes scanning the area when his gaze landed on the note. His face softened and a smile tugged at the corner of his lips. Her heart fluttered in her chest at the sight. Who left this? He glanced around again, his eyes searching, but no one was there. Shrugging, he opened the locker and pulled out a few books. The note still nestled inside. As he turned to leave, his smile lingered. From behind the pillar, Vine's heart raced uncontrollably. She watched him, the boy she had admired from afar, her feelings for him growing with every moment. Her breath catching her throat, she had never had the courage to confess to him directly. She had seen how he rejected girls so harshly, often with no hesitation, and that had crushed any hope of speaking to him face to face. So instead, she had poured her heart into letters, small messages of admiration and affection that he had somehow found and, to her surprise, smiled at. It was enough to make her believe that maybe, just maybe, he might feel something for her too. Taking a deep breath, she composed herself and made her way to her class. As she entered, her eyes immediately sought out her best friend, Lucy, who was standing near Jungkook's desk. Lucy, as always, was laughing and talking with him. A bright smile on her face. She likes him so much. Lucy's affection for Jungkook was no secret, but Wine had never found the courage to tell her the truth. She had kept her feelings hidden, too afraid to ruin their friendship. With a heavy heart, she ignored the two of them and made her way to her desk. Jungkook, who had always been distant and sometimes downright rude to her, was laughing and smiling with Lucy. Every word exchanged between them felt like a dagger to her heart. Why is he so kind to her but so distant with me? She sat down, her mind swirling with confusion and hurt. She could feel her chest tightening, but she quickly pushed the feelings away. She couldn't let this affect her. Not today. She took a deep breath and stared out the window, trying to steady her nerves. Tomorrow I'll confess. When Professor came, Lucy slid into the seat next to you. Her presence and instant comfort, she leaned in slightly, a playful smile turning at the corner of her lips. Oh, you wine. Her voice was soft, teasing, but there was a glint of concern in her eyes. You smiled at her, but it was a smile that didn't quite reach your eyes. Your mind was somewhere else, distracted, clouded. Oh, I'm good. You shrugged slightly, trying to sound casual. The lecture dragged on, the words becoming a blur as you lost yourself in the thoughts of the day. When the bell rang for break, the relief was palpable. As you packed up, Jungkook appeared, walking toward you and Lucy with his usual confidence. Let's go, Lucy. I'm starving. He glanced at you as he spoke, his gaze lingering for just a second before turning back to Lucy. Oh, yeah, wine. Let's go with us. She grinned, clearly oblivious to the unspoken tension. You nodded quickly, glancing at Jungkook before quickly averting your gaze to Lucy. You smiled at her, but it wasn't a real smile. It was more like a reflex, a way to mask what you couldn't express. Oh, let's go. The three of you made your way to the cafeteria. Lucy and Jungkook immediately sat down together at a table while you sat across from them, trying to focus on the conversation. But then, out of nowhere, a familiar voice broke your conversation. A boy, Jimmy, came and slid into the seat next to you, his mischievous smile never present. Hey Wine, how have you been? You smiled in return, the familiarity of his presence comforting, even though you knew his flirtatious nature all too well. Oh, do you remember me? You pinched his cheek lightly, a teasing smile playing on your lips. How could I forget you, Jimmy? You are too kind, Wine. I was actually hoping to catch you alone sometime, just us. You couldn't help but laugh softly, though inside you could feel Jungkook's eyes on you. The atmosphere around the table shifted as his gaze grew colder. You could feel his tension, the way his fists clenched subtly under the table, though his face remained neutral. Lucy, our perspective, noticed the change in Jungkook's demeanor. She leaned in toward you with a playful grin. Oh, looks like someone is not too happy. Her teasing tone only added to the charge in the air. Are you two fighting over me or is it just something else? You didn't answer right away. Instead, letting Jimin's flirty banter continue while Jungkook sat silently across from you, you could feel his gaze burning into you, but you knew Jimin didn't mean anything by it. He was always like this, charming, flirty, but Jungkook, his jealousy was clear. Jimin, you always know how to make me smile, but as you spoke, your gaze flipped to Jungkook, who was practically fuming across the table. You couldn't help but smile softly, sensing the storm inside him, knowing it wasn't about Jimin, it was about you. One stood in front of Jungkook's locker, her hand trembling slightly as she held the note. It had taken her weeks to finally write it, to pour out her feelings in a way that felt raw and honest. Every word had been chosen carefully, every sentence weighed with the fear of rejection and the hope for something more. She closed her eyes for a moment, letting the weight of the moment settle over her. This wasn't just a note, this was a confession of everything she had kept buried inside for so long. The feelings she had for him were no longer something she could keep hidden. The hallway was quiet as she slowly slid the note through the small crack in the locker, the paper brushing against the metal. She could hear the sound of it landing softly inside, and for a brief moment she wished she could take it all back, that she could just turn around and walk away. But it was too late. The words were out there now. Wine took a deep breath, staring at the locker for a moment longer before she turned to leave. Her heart pounded in her chest, the nerves gnawing at her insides. She couldn't help but wonder what would happen next if he would ever find out. If he would ever feel the same. But just as she was about to walk away, a hand suddenly gripped her waist, pulling her back with unexpected force. Her body tensed, her heart leaping into her throat as her white eyes locked onto the figure standing behind her. So it was you, huh? His voice was low, laced with surprise, yet there was something else in it too. Something that sent a chill down Wine's spine. Her breath catch in her throat as she slowly turned to face him. Jungkook stood there, his expression unreadable at first, but there was a flicker of realization in his eyes. When did you come? Yesterday, I thanked Lucy for the notes, but she didn't know what I was talking about. I was a fool, Wine. I thought it was her. I thought she was the one who had been leaving them. But now I know it's you, my secret admirer. Wine felt her cheeks flush, a deep red spreading across her face as her heart raced. She wanted to say something, but the words seemed to escape her. The weight of the situation of his words felt like it was pressing down on her chest. No, I didn't mean for you to know. I was just trying to keep it a secret. I never thought you would find out. But before she could finish, Chung reached into the locker and pulled out the note she had slipped inside. Wine's heart skipped a beat as he unfolded it. Her confession now laid bare before him. The words she had written, the feelings she had hidden for so long, were now exposed. And she could only watch as he read through them. Jungkook, I have been wanting to tell you this for a long time, but I never found the courage. Every day I have watched you from a distance and I have come to realize something I can't ignore any longer. I think I'm in love with you. I have always admired you, your kindness, your smile, the way you care about everything you do. I have tried to hide these feelings, but it's impossible now. They have been growing stronger, and I can't keep pretending they don't exist. I don't expect anything from you. I don't want to make things awkward between us, but I couldn't go on without telling you. I have kept this secret for so long, and I think it's time you know. I have always thought that if you knew, you might look at me differently, but I don't want to hide anymore. I just want you to know because if I don't say it, I'll regret it forever. Is that so? The air between them thickened, the words hanging in the space between them like a heavy weight. He folded the note carefully and looked up at her. Her expression changing, something in his eyes softened, and Wine felt her heart race even faster. I'm sorry, Wine. His voice cracked slightly, a sense of regret creeping in. I spoke so rudely to you. I thought Lucy was the one sending the notes. I was so sure of it. And I couldn't see what was right in front of me. I couldn't see you. A tear slipped down his cheek, and Wine felt her heart tighten. This wasn't the Jungkook she knew. The confident, teasing boy she had always laughed with. This was a Jungkook filled with regret and vulnerability. A side of him she had never seen before. When Lucy denied it yesterday, I planned to find out who had been sending me these notes. I wanted to know who you were, so I came early today, and then I saw you standing here just like this. There was a long silence as Jungkook took a step closer, his hand slowly reaching for her cheek, his touch hesitant at first but full of tenderness. His eyes never left hers, and Wine felt her breath catch in her throat. Wine, I didn't realize how much this mean to you, how much you mean to me. I'm sorry for not seeing it sooner. I should have known. Wine felt a lump form in her throat, her eyes stinging with unshed tears for so long. She had wondered if he would ever feel the same, if he would ever look at her the way she looked at him. And now, with him standing in front of her, his hand cupping her face, she realized that all of those doubts had been for nothing. Wine stood frozen, her heart thumping loudly in her chest as Jungkook's hand gently cupped her cheek. His touch was warm and reassuring, yet there was still a lingering sadness in his eyes, a regret that seemed to weigh on him. She could feel the intensity of his gaze, the raw emotion behind it, and for a moment it felt like time had stopped. It was just the two of them in that hallway, and everything else faded away. Wine, I didn't realize I never knew how much you cared. I have been such a fool. The way he said it made Wine's just tighten with emotion. She could see the pain in his eyes, the vulnerability he had hidden so well behind his confident exterior. It was a side of him she had not seen before, and it made her heart ache for him. It's okay, Jungkook. I didn't want to make things awkward between us. I couldn't keep it in anymore. I needed you to know. No, it's not okay. I should have seen it. I should have noticed you. I was too focused on Everything else too blinded by my own confusion. But I see it now. I see wine. A tear slipped down wine's cheek, and before she could wipe it away, Jungkook gently brushed it off with his thumb. His touch was light but full of warmth, and it sent a shiver through her. I'm sorry for everything I said before. I was too proud to admit it, but I think you deserve to know the truth. Her eyes widened in shock, her breath catching in her throat. Did she hit that right? Did he just say what she thought he did? His eyes never leaving hers. Yes, I do. I think I have loved you for a while now, but I never really let myself admit it. I was scared of ruining what we had, scared of being rejected. I guess, but now, seeing how much you care, how brave you were to confess to me, I know I can't keep pretending I don't feel like same way. Wine felt a rush of emotions flowed over her, a mixture of relief, happiness, and disbelief. She had spent so much time wondering if he would ever feel the same. And now, standing here in front of him, hearing him say the words, it was like a dream come true. I never thought this day would come. Neither did I, but I guess sometimes the things we are afraid of are the things we need to face the most. There was a long, tender silence between them, the weight of the confession settling in. For the first time, Vine felt like she could breathe again. The uncertainty, the doubt, it was all gone. She wasn't alone in this anymore. Jungkook felt the same way, and now everything seemed to fall into place. I don't care how long it took me to figure it out. I'm just glad you're here. In that moment, as they stood together, the world around them seemed to fade away. It was just the two of them standing in the quiet hallway, finally facing the truth they had both been too afraid to acknowledge. But now, with the weight of their confessions lifted, they could move forward together. I don't know what happens next, but I do know that I want to find out with you. Me too, let's find out together.